So today we're going to be looking at number 4 in the top 10 of major nonconformities identified in IATF 16949 audits globally. And that requirement is 8.5.1.1. control plan. So now, before we get into the reasons maybe for nonconformities, can you just give us a quick overview of the purpose of a control plan and why that is so important in the eyes of IATF 16949?
Put simply, it manages risk. So it is the mechanism to manage the risk in the production environment to ensure that production is controlled. As you know, as it says on the tin, as they say, is to ensure that the controls are in place to highlight and identify any potential issues such that they don't become issues.
And that, as we know, should be linked back to the risks that have been identified through the FMEA process.
Yeah.
This is a way of transferring them to the control plan and then transferring them to the shop floor. Yeah, it definitely is a very key document in the scope of IATF 16949.
Yeah.
Devin, from your experience then, why do you think this is coming so high in the top 10 majors? And it's been there for the last 20 years. In the top 10. Why do you think we still see a large number of major nonconformities against this requirement?
Number one, there's just a big issue with organizations not updating their control plans. Back to a couple videos when we were talking about documents weren't being updated. They're implementing the root cause and corrective actions, but not updating the documents. This is one of those examples. Control plans often get missed, and that could be a few different reasons. It could be a poor correlation between the manufacturing floor and processes and the department that's updating those records.
I think that raises a really interesting point about responsibility for maintaining the control plan up to date. Niall, in your experience, where does that responsibility lie in most IATF 16949 certified organizations? And do we think it's in the right place?
Yeah, so again, it invariably falls into the sort of quality function, the quality team to develop and roll out the control plan. But it's a fundamental part of the new product introduction process. We touched on that earlier, and that has to be a cross-functional team. So there has to be a kind of cross-functional team involved in developing this document, and then it has to be sort of rolled out across the production area. But as well as that, it's instructing the production team on how they should react to certain situations. It's again really important that they understand what the reaction plans are from the control plan should a problem arise.
Obviously, we need to take into account the minimum content in Annex A for a control plan. What other types of things? Now, you mentioned about the reaction plan maybe being a problem in some organizations. Is there any other aspects of Annex A that you think may be causing some of these nonconformities?
I wonder sometimes whether the process control aspects, so we often think about product control and sort of measuring the product. Equally important in the control plan are the process control characteristics, and again how we monitor those which might be temperature related or pressure related, but some of the process controls. And I sometimes think they get maybe not the same attention as the product controls.
So let's summarize then. Number 4 in the top 10 major nonconformities being raised globally in IATF in the last 12 months is 8.5.1.1 control plan. Devin made the point that maybe one of the reasons this is so high, organizations haven't got effective processes to keep the control plan up to date based upon changes. Niall raised the point about sometimes maybe the content of the control plan does not adequately address all of the requirements in Annex A as a minimum. I think they are some of the key reasons that we're seeing this in the top 10. And maybe also we discussed the point about ownership of the control plan. Okay, somebody might own the control plan, but really it should be developed and maintained by a cross-functional team. And obviously any changes before we change the control plan, we should consider the risk in making that change through the PFMEA process.